Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm Sheldon Barlett Rumor, and this is it. Welcome back to This Is It TV. This Is It Network is your global digital TV network, connecting remarkable women to inspiring stories. We do that through our growing community, our engaging content, and our real connections. Each and every day at 11 o'clock Eastern, I come to you to share a morning message in hopes of not just inspiring you for the day, but keeping you motivated for the rest of the week. So my hope for all of you is that you tune in and you gain a sense of inspiration in one way or the other. You're able to kind of hone in on what your goals and objectives are for the day. As you know, I need for all of you to find your voice, to no longer whisper your wishes, and for you to scream your dreams. So welcome. I hope everybody is doing well. I want to talk today about connections. Yes. It's not what you do, it's who you know. Hey, Holly Joe, how are you? It's not what you do, it's who you know. And we say that all the time. And I think that applies both personally and professionally as far as getting things done. And I know that all of us are in a realm of speaking where we're like, we got a guy. I know a girl that can do that. I know somebody who can do that. I know somebody who can make that happen. I know somebody that can help me with that. I think that we've got to really begin to hone in on the relationships we have and how we can navigate those relationships. What does that look like? What does that feel like? How can we keep things moving in a way that not only is productive, but it keeps us connecting with more people? So many people will say, you know, I want to do this with my business. I want to be able to do this with my life. I want to be able to go on vacation. I want to be able to all of those things. But what are the connections that you are making in order to make those things happen? I tease and it is a fact. I have yet to wrap myself on a billboard or wrap a bus with my name on it. Good morning. Or any of those things. Like where it is that I am, good, bad, or indifferent, all comes from the relationships that I have. It all comes from the way in which I communicate with whoever it is going on. And hopefully I have solid relationships so I can carry those connections forward. I've done a number of different jobs in my life. I've, lived, like I like to say, 9 lives in the things in which I am doing. And those that I've waitressed with now own the restaurant. Those that I, folded clothes with now own their own boutique. Connections and relationships are everything. And us staying connected with each other as we navigate our lives affords us the ability to increase the network in which we work with, the people in which we are able to connect with over and over and over again. Now, I know it is a difficult thing for us to kind of say, okay, I look at every relationship as a connection or some way of networking. And that's not necessarily what I'm saying. I'm not looking for you to change the dynamic of your relationships. I'm just looking for you to look at your relationships. Look at the connections in which you have. So often we are not really understanding that we may have the relationships necessary already to be able to get ourselves closer to what it is that we want. We may be 2 leagues removed, 1 league removed. For those of you that are watching on LinkedIn, right? You are 2, 3 connections away from the life that you want, the relationship that you want, the job that you want. We tend to not navigate our life like that, right? You tend to not look at your Rolodex and say, okay, what can I get from everybody in this list? And I'm not asking for you to manipulate or change conversation or only hang out with people because you need them for something. I'm just saying that those people that are in the phone today, those people that follow, fan, and like you, or the connections that you already have and exist, do they give you or are they providing you with a connection that gets you closer to what it is that you want? Are they providing you with a better way to be able to navigate your space or a better way for you to be able to realize what it is that you're doing? For me, it's super important for us to recognize that. For me, it's super important for us to look at the relationships that we already currently have. And what does that look like for us? How can we begin to have conversations about what it is that we want with people we already know? And then as we be able to identify the people we already know, let's discuss. Let's take a look. Let's see who we need to meet, what relationships we need to have, and the things in which we need to do in order to build our Rolodex and be able to form more connections. Like everything else, it's an intentional action. It's about saying, okay, this is what it is that I'm looking to do, and this is what it is I need in order to get there. What does that look like for all of you? Are you paying attention to those people around you, or are you kind of taking advantage, or not even necessarily even taking advantage, just taking for granted? That's what it is. Taking for granted the people that you know in your space. Perusing through life, good morning, Lisa, wondering, who's going to help you, 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 only to realize that the person is in your phone. Only to realize that they already follow, fan, and like you, only to realize that you have exactly what you need at this particular moment. So there's two pieces of the connection: connecting and reconnecting with those you already know, and identifying clearly those you want to know, right? Identifying who it is that you need in your life in order for you to get closer to what it is that you want. Some of us are like, I need more money. I personally think you just need the right connections, right? We always have heard the adage of it's not what you do or what you're up to, but it's who you know. It's the truth. Who you know can get you tickets to that event. Who you know can get you a discount on that service. Who you know can get you promoted. Who you know can get you a client. It is who you know. But this is not a manipulative conversation. It's not who you know in a conniving way. It's about asking people, the people in your life that are already fans of who it is that you are, to be able to help you get closer to what it is that you want. It's about identifying those in your community that are already part of your journey. They're watching you. They're participating as much as they can, but without clarity, they don't know what it is that they can do to help you. And those connections that you have, I may need something that you have that you, again, are taking for granted, something that you don't have, somebody that you don't necessarily have a need for, but I might be able to raise my hand and say, ooh, I may need that. Ooh, this person could help me. Looking at your connections in a very unique way is going to be super important. Looking at your connections in a clear way is going to be necessary. Those that you already know and those you want to know. But we've got to map it out. Just like anything else, we've got to sit down, pizza and pajamas, pen and paper, and be able to say, okay, what is it that I have within my network currently? Who is it that I have? Who am I connecting with? Who are the people that follow, fan, and like me that I would pick up the phone and they would say, hello, how are you? What can I do to help you? And who's on the other end? Who is the list? Who is on that list of people that you want to meet? People that you don't know today, but would like to know in order to get you closer to what it is that you want. It is not a happenstance. It's not one of those things where it's like, you know what? Maybe I'll meet them, maybe I won't. We are living in a world where intention is necessary. Being able to focus on really what it is you want to do and where it is you want to take yourself and your brand is going to be imperative in making it happen. Yes, it'd be nice if the perfect contacts just fell out of the sky or you just happened to bump into them as it relates. But what I would love to be able to do, is I would love to be able to have a plan as it relates to who it is that I need to speak to. Who would make my life easier? Who would be able to provide me with a proper connection? Who would be able to get me closer to what it is that I want? A new client, build my database, any of those things. None of that can happen unless we address it. Things aren't falling out of the sky. People aren't necessarily bumping into people on street corners anymore, right? Our lives have changed in the dynamic in which we meet people, right? We're not even bumping into people really in the grocery store anymore. So we've got to get intentional about the connections that we have and the connections that we want. And how are we going to make that happen? How are we going to get ourselves into a position where we can meet more people, where we can engage with more people, that we can ensure that more people know about us today than yesterday? How do we wrap our mind around, with intention, the connections that we need and support the connections that we have? I want us to think about that. Because it was so funny because I talk about my sister all the time, and they give me some brutal reality. And in the beginning of every single year, I discuss, what am I going to do? And what am I going to join? And how am I going to build my database? And how am I going to build all these things? And they simply, both of them said to me, Sheldon, you are a database. Reach out to the people that already follow, fan, and like you. Reach out to the people that are already part of your email list. Reach out to the people that are already part of your network. Why are you not doing that? And I challenge all of you with the same question. How strong are the connections that you have? Is everything on surface level? Or is it a situation where you think that the people who follow, fan, and like you know that the people who follow, fan, and like you are true connections? Evaluate them. Are they people that know, like, and trust you? Are they people that just know you? They know and like you. They know, like, and trust you. Evaluate the connections that you have. Evaluate where it is that they fall. Again, this is personally and professionally. Or is there somebody that can lead you in the right direction of a landscaper, or somebody that can be able to take care of your kids, or a referral as it relates to a tutor or a babysitter? These are things that are important as it relates to connections. Some of the most casual connections that I've had have led to business relationships. Some of my business relationships are now fast friends. So we need to really look at the connections in which we have. Evaluate how we're navigating our space and the relationships in it, the connections in which we have, and the connections in which we want. And then we have to be able to determine how we're going to get there. The boldness of our voice and reaching out to people that we do not know, or gaining an introduction from somebody, a current connection that we do know. Hey, I see that you know this person. Can you introduce me? Hey, I see that you know this person. Would you mind sharing what I have going on? We've got to build our connections in order to get closer to what it is that we want. We have to evaluate the connections we have, and we have to make a list of the connections in which we want. It's just not going to happen. We no longer are in a space where we're bumping into people at events. We have to be a lot more intentional about what it is that we're doing. And I think that so often we don't really think about, hi Terry, we don't really think about, the importance of the folks that are in our phone, or the folks that we're connecting with on a regular basis, or haven't connected with in quite some time. The power is in the connections that we have with people, the referrals that we have, the references that we can provide or that we receive. Let's talk about the connections in which you have and the connections in which you want. The intentional nature of writing that list. I want to meet, and filling in the blank. Because the off chance that you'll be able to run into them has changed. So we have to figure out how we run into them online in this digital space, how we bump into the people in which we want to connect with, and the value of the connections in which we have. So today is the day. You're going to scroll your phone, you're going to jump into your Outlook, you're going to look and see the connections that you have. You're going to touch base with those people and understand where they are, see if they're safe and if they're healthy, reconnect with this group. And then, after you've done that, on the eve of this evening, you're going to sit and you're going to say, who do I want to meet? Pizza and pajamas, a donut, some ice cream, a little sweet treat. Obviously, I want something sweet this morning. But you're going to be able to identify who you want to meet, knowing that it's not going to be happenstance, knowing that it's not just going to miraculously happen, that you have to function with intention in order to get closer to what it is that you want. So today is about connections, the connections that you have and the connections that you want. Knowing that we are going to value those that are in our lives already, and we are going to make active steps in order to increase the connections in which we want. I'm Sheldon Bartlett-Rumer. Hi, Mary Jane. How are you? I'm Sheldon Bartlett-Rumer. It's about connections today, my darlings. It's about making sure that we are connecting with people that we already have within our network. We are touching base with them. Are they safe? Are they healthy? We are in a space where we are happy, that we are really celebrating the connections that already exist. And we are doing that diligently. And then we are also making a list of those that we would like to be connected with. It's not going to happen just out of the sky. You're not going to run into them at the mall or at a networking event in the same way. The digital space has changed the way in which connections just happen. So we have to be much more intentional about it. So the list is the connections that we have and the connections that we want to have. And we really focus on what that looks like. So I need you to evaluate who is in your network currently. And I need you to reach out to them, follow, fan, and like them, share a comment, let them know that you are here and ready to be more connected today than yesterday. And then you are going to write a list of people that you want to meet, because we are going to live in intention. We are not going to wait for things to happen to us. We are going to be active participants in our lives, because we are going to find our voice. We are going to tell our story. We are going to no longer whisper our wishes. We are going to, in fact, scream our dream. I'm Sheldon Bartlett-Rumer, and this is it. This is It Network is your global TV network connecting remarkable women to inspiring stories. I do it each and every day at 11 o'clock Eastern, Monday through Friday. As we share our growing community, we love to be able to produce engaging content, and we provide real connections. So thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern. If you think someone in your life needed this piece of content, make sure that you share it. Follow, fan, and like us everywhere you find at This Is It TV, and log on to thisisit.tv.com for more information. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.